the course of action is simple. Win the parkour race.
This is without a doubt the most difficult race in parkour history. I want you to feel the sense of dread as you watch me get closer and closer to the finish line, knowing no matter how hard you try, you will never catch up to me. I commend you for making it this far, but I cannot entertain this any longer. Let's begin.
This was it. The hardest parkour race in history, against one of the most fearsome parkour fighters of all time. There's nothing to save me now. Miss one jump and it's over. Make the jump slower than the parkour villain and I die. Meaning I can't hold anything back in this fight. Maybe I'm not good enough to beat the parkour villain, but someone once told me that as long as you can parkour, there is always a way. The parkour race had begun. I did the first 3 jumps without stopping, but the parkour villain had matched my speed. This race was only gonna get more difficult, and the only way I could get a lead on the parkour villain is by doing the most difficult jumps with virtually no stopping. I barely stayed on after the ice block jump, and now it was time for a chain neo, which the parkour villain did effortlessly. I made the chain neo myself and made the drop down to the ladder. It was time to speed things up. I made a 4.5 block jump into a 6.5 block jump onto a candle. Now was my time to take the lead. I quickly made the 2 block neo jump and immediately went on to the glass jumps. The parkour villain told me I lost the battle with him before because of my inability to risk everything I had. But right now, in this battle, I wasn't holding anything back. I stopped at a difficult neo jump. I needed momentum for this. I looked back and I had a sizable lead against the parkour villain. I could do this. I went backwards 1 jump and used the momentum to make the 3 block neo jump. This was my time. And that's when my heart dropped. The feeling of hope I had in this battle came and went in seconds. My side of the parkour battle wasn't finished, and the end to the race was just a few jumps away. I was set up from the beginning. The parkour villain never intended on me finishing this race. He got what he wanted, and that was to make me suffer. All I could do from this point on was watch as my life slowly came to an end. This was how I was gonna go out. In a few jumps, the parkour villain would make it to the platform, and my life would cease to exist. To be honest, with everything that's happened in my life,